Do you remember the financial crisis of 2008? I watched the news in horror. Massive banks were failing, and governments were spending trillions of dollars on bailouts. I had this strange feeling inside too. It was as if someone was holding the strings of our lives and had deliberately cut them. Those banking giants had broken our trust. In that darkest moment, in the most obscure corner of the internet, a seed was planted. An anonymous genius emerged and essentially said, okay, since these giants abuse the trust we give them, then we will simply remove trust from the equation. The name of this rebellion? Bitcoin. It's not just a digital currency, it is a dagger plunged into the heart of the financial system. So how did this revolution begin? How did a piece of code challenge a $10 trillion global system? What is crypto, and why is it the dawn of a new era, not a bubble? We, the finance legends, will explore this epic journey from its mysterious beginning to the future of finance. Buckle up, because this isn't just a story about money, it's a story about freedom. Let's begin. Our story has no villains, only a failing system. The 2008 financial crisis is an example of this. Banks gambled with their customers' money on risky investments, and when those investments failed, we all paid the price. People asked, where is our money? As usual, the answer was vague and frustrating. It was at this moment that someone or some group, still known only as Satoshi Nakamoto, emerged, not physically but digitally. On October 31, 2008, they sent a paper to a small group of cryptography enthusiasts via email. It was a 9-page paper that was simple yet highly technical. Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. The paper outlined a system in which we could transfer money without trusting a third party. No banks, no intermediaries, just pure math and code. The most epic moment came on January 3, 2009. The first Bitcoin block, the Genesis block, was mined. Satoshi embedded a hidden note inside this first block. The news headline that day read, The Times 03 Jan 2009, Chancellor on brink of second bailout for banks. This wasn't a random note. It was Bitcoin's founding philosophy. While you were busy bailing out the banks, we built the alternative. Bitcoin was born as a currency but acted as a rebellion. It was created with the promise of becoming the people's money, operating outside the control of banks and governments. I won't get too technical here. Imagine the blockchain like this. Traditional banking is like having all records kept in one neighborhood notary's ledger. If the notary becomes ill, leaves town, or becomes corrupt, the system collapses. The blockchain, however, is that same ledger distributed across hundreds of thousands of people. When you make a transaction, the data is recorded in a block. The block is then cryptographically sealed and immediately linked to the previous block in the chain, like a train car. The link is so strong that to make even the slightest change to the chain, you would have to recode every block that follows. For that chain to be considered valid, it must be confirmed by tens of thousands of participants, miners, around the world. This is why the blockchain is immutable and decentralized. Unlike a bank's ledger, which can be tampered with, to hack the Bitcoin network, you would have to hack more than half of the world's internet simultaneously. This gives us two things. First, we are no longer trusting a bank or person to handle transactions. We trust the code. The code is flawless and doesn't lie. Second, a government can shut down a bank with a single decree. However, to shut down the Bitcoin network, they would literally have to shut down the internet worldwide. This makes Bitcoin the digital voice of freedom. This technology has fundamentally changed how we handle money and trust. Bitcoin sparked a revolution, but that's not where the story ends. Developers began to ask, if this blockchain technology is so reliable, why are we only focusing on money? This is when Ethereum and the entire altcoin ecosystem came onto the scene. Ethereum took the blockchain and made it programmable. This meant that, rather than just sending digital money, we could write smart contracts that would execute automatically when certain conditions were met. What is a smart contract? Think of it this way. Instead of an insurance policy document, you write the code. If the temperature in city X exceeds 40 degrees, information automatically provided by a data source known as an oracle, pay the policyholder automatically. There are no humans, paperwork, or bureaucracy in between. This technology gave birth to decentralized finance, DeFi, which has fundamentally changed the banking world. DeFi enables us to borrow, lend, and earn interest without banks, middlemen, or lawyers. Additionally, thousands of different cryptocurrencies have emerged. Some focused on faster transactions, others prioritized privacy. Then there are stablecoins. They solve the problem of volatility by pegging their value to a traditional currency, such as the US dollar, which makes global trade easier. Crypto is no longer just a currency. It is an operating system on which the entire financial and legal systems can be rebuilt. So what does all this mean for us? Why are we taking this topic so seriously? Because it fundamentally changes the balance of power in our lives. This revolution rests on three core pillars that address the biggest flaws of the old system. First, financial inclusion. Billions of people globally lack access to basic banking services. However, anyone with a smartphone can have a crypto wallet. This provides access to the world's cheapest and fastest banking services, even for the poorest populations. This is empowerment itself. Second is censorship resistance. A regime can easily seize the money in your bank account. In crypto, however, if you hold the keys, the money is yours. This alone offers an invaluable guarantee of freedom for people living in politically unstable regions. Finally, the true meaning of money. Crypto reminds us what money is fundamentally about: scarcity. Most fiat currencies can be printed limitlessly by governments, which causes inflation and erodes their value. However, Bitcoin has a limited supply. Its code guarantees that no more than 21 million Bitcoins will ever be created. For the first time in history, this means we have a currency beyond human control. This technology tells us, be your own bank. That's a huge responsibility. But it also means reclaiming a sovereignty lost centuries ago. Today we discussed Bitcoin's revolutionary journey from its birth to the complex world of DeFi. Remember, this is more than just a trend. It's a financial revolution that is redefining money, trust, law, and governance. In the coming years, this technology will fundamentally change not only investing, but also how we get paid, vote, and sign contracts. So where do you stand in this revolution? Do you view Bitcoin as digital gold, or do you believe in the power of smart contracts? What excites you most about this new world? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'm eager to find out which legend you will become. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the Finance Legends channel and like this video to stay updated with accurate information at the heart of this revolution. Remember, knowledge is power. In this new digital age, your greatest power will be your financial literacy. See you in the next adventure, legends.